Update 29 is now live. It's a smaller patch than usual, highly focused on bug fixes, but there are some major changes you should be aware of. Let me show you the highlights. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. Bethesda released a new patch yesterday, August 3, and it's a rather small update. PC players only had to download about 2 gigabytes, just to give you an idea, and the maintenance took a bit over 2 hours to get the new changes live and running. Now, if you take a closer look at the patch notes, there aren't so many, especially since half of them are related to missing bug fixes. But don't worry, there's plenty of stuff to go over nonetheless. I spent plenty of hours testing already just to bring you the most relevant changes live with patch 29. Well then, let's begin. The first change I selected is something you will not find in the patch notes, not at all. I was very surprised to see nothing related to server stability there, but after looking at Bethesda's official Discord, I found out that the community manager Volseek stated this new patch should improve server issues players have been experiencing ever since Still Rain went live. In the past weeks, Bethesda released 3 hotfixes to resolve multiple exploits, which were causing server lag, server not responding errors, and even server crashes on a regular basis. It was almost every day. Now, things did improve substantially since the latest hotfix on July 27, but even after that, the server stability did not return back to normal. Things were still questionable, especially in certain public servers. Now, after Update 29, things have changed. I played during primetime Europe yesterday, right after the patch went live, and for some 3 hours straight, I encountered no issues. Not even one, guys, for my surprise. I have played a few more hours today and it was the same, no interruptions, no lag, no random disconnects, no server not responding errors, nothing. Just wow! For the first time ever since Still Rain went live on July 7, I had no issues. I can finally play in peace without worrying about server issues happening any second. Well, it took them long enough, almost 1 month, but as I usually say, better later than never. So there you go, server stability seems to be back to normal. I cannot say it is 100%, but based on my experience and the lack of player reports on this, I believe it is now solved. So if you took a break due to the chaos we lived recently, it's time to come back. It's safe now. Okay, next we have another change that is definitely not part of the patch notes since it's a brand new issue. The Season 5 scoreboard is now bugged and most of the Fallout First rewards are nowhere to be seen. Poof, like magic. It's a global bug and as far as I know it's affecting everyone. How comes though, you may ask? Well, I think Bethesda did an oopsie here and replaced the scoreboard with their earlier version. In the Still Rain public test, I remember this being the first board we ever got, where the cardinal bird was set to high ranks and most Fallout First rewards were still not there, they were still being made. They only added such entries at a later date, which would then become the final scoreboard. So you see, it looks like the first version of the scoreboard ended up going live now for whatever reason. It must be a pathing mistake or something alike, so don't worry too much. Anyway, there seems to be another issue with repeatable reward notifications as well. Some players claim they are not getting them anymore. Meanwhile, the community manager Lady Devon already said the team is looking into the problem. I think it should be an easy fix, so expect them to tackle things down very soon. Now, let's dive into the mighty notes. One of the major changes is related to Smiley at the Wayward Inn. When Bethesda increased the gold bullion cap pool to 10k on July 7, they kinda forgot to do the same for our good old friend here. So as a result, players could farm and store more than 5k gold at once through the gold machines. 5k was the previous limit, by the way, but if they had more than 5k gold, they were not able to exchange cabs for gold at Smiley. He would just say, you have too much gold, and refuse to sell you anything else. pretty inconvenient, but with update 29, that's fixed. I tested yesterday. As you can see, I have more than 6k gold here, and he sold me 300 gold without any issues. So yeah, this bug is now fixed. Enjoy your extra weekly gold from Smiley. Moving forward, I have more great news for you. Bethesda fixed the Workbench freeze bug. You know, the one where your interface, aka controls, would be inaccessible after exiting a workbench. I know some of you guys experience this one on a regular basis, but personally, I was lucky enough to encounter it only a few times. Probably because I don't craft that often, so that must be the main reason. Anyway, I tested all my workbenches dozens and dozens of times yesterday, and I didn't get bugged, not even once. Very strange. I tried really hard, as you can see. I was even rushing the exit using my map and nothing. Also, I tested on my Arc Enemy workbench, where you start the encrypted event. I remember getting stuck here a few times in the past. And again, the bug did not trigger. Nada de nada. The only strange thing I found was while testing my weapon workbench. Sometimes after exiting, the system would spawn me far from it, but I could still access my commands normally, everything fine. Well, it feels good to get no results in this case, because it highly suggests Bethesda really fixed it for good. Told you so, great news. Alright, Bethesda finally re-enabled melee thrown weapons crafting. Can you believe it? After over 3 months, they finally addressed the issue behind this matter. If you need a refresher, they disabled it during Season 4 because players could craft such weapons to earn limited score. That's because if you mass crafted them and then scrapped it with the scrapper perk, you would get the same exact materials you used to craft them in the first place. So it was like an infinite loop. It was not an exploit per se, but it worked pretty much like one. So Bethesda decided to keep it disabled for the time being, until now. As to be expected, they changed the scrapping values even with the perk on. As you can see, you now get half of the materials you need to craft them while scrapping. So the glitch is gone. Enjoy your thrown melee weapons once again. Another major fix that you should be aware of is related to the player carry weight. There is, or used to be, this persistent bug where the information in your Pipboy regarding carry weight would not match the real carry weight value. As a result, the Pipboy would tell you that, well, you are not over-encumbered when in reality you are. This would obviously impact your movement and the ability to fast travel. It was confusing and very frustrating when it happened. I had it a few times in the past, so I can relate. It happens mostly when your carry weight was very close to the limit, so it was very easy to bypass anyway. I mean, all you had to do was drop something light and voila, issue resolved. Moreover, this is a rare bug which makes things complicated for testing purposes. I tried my best to play around my carry weight by picking up and dropping light stuff around my limit to see if the bug would trigger, but nope, no success. I think we need time to understand if this fix is really working or not, but for now, I think it's safe to assume it's a positive until any negatives are made public. Now, moving to the building topic, Bethesda extended the toggle snapping option to more items with patch 29. R is the default key on PC, and you can now use it for items like most fences, as well as bar sets, display rags, and even light boxes and letters. I tested a few of these new items with the toggle option, and it seems to be working fine for the most part. For this basic wooden fence, the toggle option just attaches to my floor or foundation edges like a magnet, while the off option allows me to place it anywhere I want. It's like free for all. However, I discovered that some items are buggy. For example, the white railings received the toggle option too, but it's not toggling anything on my end. It's just like free building with the off setting. There is no difference between on and off at all. The same goes for display rags. I can't really feel the difference between both modes. It's like free building all the time. Well, at least it's working really well for light letters. You can now arrange them the way you want with total freedom by turning the toggle option off, of course. If you leave it on, the letters will always snap close to the already placed letter. I think this is a great change, but it's a bit buggy, so there is definitely room for improvement here. Talking about building options, it seems like there was a live trick on how to make surfaces float again by removing floors with walls still attached to them. I remember the old trick where you had to change a wall into a door frame and then you could remove the floor underneath, but that has been fixed patches ago, so I'm not sure what did they fix exactly, unless that trick re-emerged somehow or another trick was made public. I'm not exactly an expert builder, so I'm not sure. Anyway, Bethesda addressed the issue again, at least according to the patch notes. You can no longer remove floors or foundations when a wall is still attached. I tested by doing the obvious and the old trick as well. No floors were able to get deleted or removed, so at first glance, this fix seems to be working. The next point made me really happy because it's about something that has been broken since September 2020 for almost a year. It's about locations which are now being used as daily ops locations too. Some of them have not been spawning enemies correctly outside of the operations. Great examples of this are the Burning Mine and the Valley Galleria. Both locations became like deserted interiors ever since daily ops were introduced with the One Wasteland DLC back in 2020. But now they are spawning enemies again. I visited both places yesterday and wow, enemies are back to business. In fact, Valley Galleria is now filled with Scorched again, which means this will become a top location to farm Holiday Scorched later this year. Yes, it is a fixed spawn for them in case you didn't know, so it's very reliable to farm Scorched. As for the other daily ops locations, I don't remember any other having spawning issues, so they should be fine one way or the other. Now let's go over a recent bug introduced with Still Rain. One of the new locations is the FAV production interior inside of West Tech. For some players, it was impossible to access this instanced area outside of the Catalyst mission. I personally never encountered this bug, but having a location blocked to you is no fun. So it's great that Bethesda came up with a fix so quickly. I entered and exited the FAV elevator several times, and I never encountered a gray button or something blocking me from going there. The only strange thing I found was this sort of enemy spawn inconsistency. Sometimes when I traveled between the two instances, the super mutants would respawn like immediately. Other times they would remain dead. I couldn't understand the logic here. I think it's just completely buggy and there's no rule at all. But other than that, the access seems to be working fine. So that's the entire point of this fix, which is great. Bethesda has also changed a legendary effect rule for single-shot ranged weapons. Before this patch, players could roll the last shot effect, which would automatically double the weapon's damage at any time, since, well, such weapons can only load one bullet at a time. Therefore, every hit would deal double damage. After Update 29 though, this legendary effect can no longer be rolled for single-shot ranged weapons. I think we can all understand why. In terms of balance, this effect could turn certain weapons into killing machines, such as the black powder pistol and rifle. Even bows fit the category. Well, I guess we have a new set of legacy weapons. If you happen to have one of these with last shot, make sure to keep it. It will become a relic very soon. Talking about weapons, Bethesda decided to change cursed weapons again, well, their names at least. With the Still Rain DLC, they decided to remove the cursed prefix from their names. Don't ask me why, I have absolutely no idea. And as a result, it kind of generated confusion, as to be expected. But now Bethesda decided to go back and bring the prefix again. And thanks goodness they went for it, because now it's easy to identify cursed weapons again, whether it's in the Pipboy or Stash interface. When it comes to display cases, Bethesda claims to have fixed another issue, which was preventing a variety of weapons from displaying when assigned to the respective displays. Well, just like point 8, this problem has been addressed in the past, and I'm not aware of any recent issues, but you never know. I have several weapons displayed across my camps, and they have been displaying correctly since Still Rain went live. I also conducted a few tests here to ensure it's working decently right now. And yes, it is. No issues found after assigning some 25 weapons. Well, you know what to do if you encounter a display bug with your weapons. Report it, and let's keep moving. Since we are on the display case topic, Bethesda also solved the bug related to the magnetic weapon racks, which had their own placement limit. They were not stacking with the other display case limits. But now that's fixed. As you can see, the magnetic cases are now sharing their placement slots with almost every other display. The exceptions are mannequins, power armor displays, and the Fastna mask display, as to be expected. These have their own unique limits. Well, another test, another check. To finish off the overview, I selected something lighter, without a real impact in the gameplay at least. It's about the washing machine and dryer, 2 new items added with Season 5, which had barely any animations when you interacted with them. I mean, besides giving you radiation every now and then. Anyway, now they have a new sound effect, which sounds like this. And the doors will close when you interact with them. I know it's a subtle change and something most people wouldn't notice otherwise. That's why I decided to add it here as the last point. Patch 29 hardly brought any new content, that's true, so I do understand why some of you guys are disappointed with it. But on the other side, 76 desperately needs bug fixes, so having such smaller and fix-oriented updates are a very positive thing in my view. It's essential to have a dose with the amount of bugs and issues we normally have. Anyway, these were my 15 major changes with Update 29. I hope I could keep you informed. If you have any questions regarding recent changes, feel free to ask below. I usually answer to the better of my ability and knowledge. Also, if you'd like to know more about the upcoming Fallout Worlds, I have an in-depth overview online already. Well, it's time for me to go. Feel free to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed what you just saw. And as usual, a huge thanks to everyone who goes the extra mile to support my channel. Thanks a lot. I will see you very, very soon in the next video. Until then, take care, adeus, bye bye!